Welcome to a journey through Australia's darkest shadows, where history and mystery collide on structures you cross every day. These aren't just bridges, they're gateways to the unknown. From restless spirits to chilling encounters, tonight we reveal the top 10 haunted bridges in Australia. Dare to cross? Because once you hear their stories, you may never look at a bridge the same way again. 1. Old Victoria Bridge, Picton, New South Wales. In the quiet town of Picton, shrouded in mist and forgotten whispers, lies the Old Victoria Bridge, a rusting relic from the 1800s, suspended in time, and something darker. Beneath its crumbling beams and ivy-choked rails, a restless spirit walks. They say her name was Emily Ballard, a young woman who, on a storm-lashed night in 1916, tried to cross the railway bridge, but never made it to the other side. Struck by a train and thrown into the shadows, her death was quick, but her soul never left. Locals speak in hushed tones of a figure in white, floating at the edge of the bridge just before midnight. Travelers report feeling an icy grip on their shoulder, only to turn around and find nothing there. Cameras malfunction, lights flicker, and some say if you call her name, Emily, 3 times, you'll hear her soft sobbing from the dark. The bridge is now closed to traffic, but daredevils still climb its spine to meet the haunted silence. Old Victoria Bridge is more than just decaying iron and stone. It's a gateway. One step too far, and you might meet Emily. Or worse, never leave. 2. Windsor Bridge, Windsor, New South Wales. Beneath the calm facade of the historic town of Windsor, just northwest of Sydney, lies a bridge steeped in silence and shadows. Windsor Bridge, stretching over the Hawkberry River, may seem ordinary by day, but when night falls, the air turns cold and the past begins to stir. Built in the early 1800s, this bridge is older than the bones buried beneath it, settlers, convicts, and the sacred remains of Aboriginal land. Locals whisper of phantom footsteps echoing across the timber planks long after the living have gone. Drivers passing over the bridge after midnight report seeing a lone figure, draped in old colonial garb, standing still in the center of the road, only to vanish as headlights strike. There are tales of a woman screaming beneath the bridge, but no one is ever found. Some even claim the river itself remembers, pulling at the minds of those who linger too long near its edge. Windsor Bridge may carry cars and carriages, but it also carries a heavy burden of souls who never left. 3. Maldon Suspension Bridge, Victoria. Deep in the goldfields of Victoria, the Maldon Suspension Bridge sways gently in the wind, its cables groaning like they're remembering something or someone. By day, it's a charming relic, nestled among quiet trees and forgotten trails. But at night, the bridge becomes a portal, a place where the veil between the living and the dead wears thin. They say a miner, desperate and broken, ended his life here in the late 1800s after losing everything in the mines. Since then, countless visitors have reported hearing the sound of heavy boots behind them, crossing the bridge in the dead of night, even when no one else is there. Some see a man with a lantern, walking slowly into the fog, his face obscured, his footsteps echoing on the timber boards. Others claim the bridge vibrates with a heartbeat, pulsing like it's alive, watching, waiting. Don't stop. Don't look back. And whatever you do, never cross at midnight, unless you're ready to meet the man who never left the mines or the bridge. 4. Prince's Bridge, Melbourne, Victoria. Spanning the dark waters of the Yarra River, Prince's Bridge is a grand landmark in the heart of Melbourne. But as the sun sets behind the skyline, something ancient begins to awaken. Built in 1888, the bridge rests on land once sacred to the Wurundjeri people, a place of ceremony and spirit. Now, beneath layers of concrete and iron, something stirs, restless and unseen. Walkers at night speak of a woman in white, standing silently at the railing, gazing into the river. When approached, she vanishes, leaving behind only the scent of rain and roses. Others report hearing chanting, low and mournful, carried on the breeze, words in a language no one recognizes. Streetlights flicker, shadows linger. Some say the bridge hums beneath your feet, like a voice too old to understand. Prince's Bridge isn't just a path across the river. It's a threshold between Melbourne's modern world and the spirits of a time long buried, but never forgotten. Five, Alexandra Suspension Bridge, Tasmania. Hidden within the misty gorge of Cataract Gorge Reserve in Launceston, the Alexandra Suspension Bridge sways gently above rushing waters. But it's not just the river that moves beneath it. Built in 1904, this narrow footbridge has long been a magnet for whispers and warnings. Visitors speak of an unnatural cold that grips them halfway across, even on the warmest summer days. Some say it feels like someone's walking beside them, though no footsteps can be heard. Local legend tells of a young boy who fell into the river decades ago, never to be seen again. Now, late at night, people hear a child's laughter, soft and echoing, followed by the splash of something hitting the water. But when they look down, there's nothing there. Others report being gently pushed, as if something unseen wants them off the bridge. It's just a footbridge, they say, just steel and rope. But if you cross it after dark, don't stop, don't look down. And if you hear someone call your name, don't answer. Six, Hawkberry River, Railway Bridge, New South Wales. Standing tall over the dark waters of the Hawkberry River, this railway bridge hides a violent past beneath its steel bones. The original bridge, built in the late 1800s, was plagued with tragedy. During its construction, multiple workers died, some falling into the river, others crushed beneath collapsing iron. The bridge was eventually rebuilt, but the spirits of those lost remained. Engineers working late at night report hearing the sound of hammers clanging, echoing from nowhere. Train conductors passing through the area speak of figures in old work clothes, standing near the tracks, staring blankly as the train speeds past, then disappearing into the mist. Sometimes, a low moan rises from the river itself, as if the bridge is mourning the dead it cannot forget. They say this bridge was built on sacrifice, and at night, it remembers every broken bone, every final scream. Cross it by train, and you may feel the weight of those who never made it home, watching, waiting, just behind the veil. Seven, Ross Bridge, Ross, Tasmania. Beneath its elegant stone arches, the Ross Bridge in Tasmania holds secrets carved not just in sandstone, but in suffering. Built in 1836 by convict labor, it's one of the oldest bridges in Australia and one of the most haunted. Over 40 convicts worked day and night to raise this structure, and many died doing it, beaten, starved, forgotten. Locals claim that at night, the carvings on the bridge, grotesque faces and twisted figures, shift and move, as if alive. Some say they were etched by a stonemason, driven mad by the screams of the dying. Visitors often feel a sudden drop in temperature, even when there's no wind. A few have reported a man in shackles, walking silently along the riverbank, his eyes hollow, his steps endless. They say Ross Bridge is beautiful in the daylight, but at night, it becomes something else entirely. A tomb of stone, soaked in the pain of men who never escaped, not even in death. Eight. Rip Bridge, Central Coast, New South Wales, stretching across the still waters of Brisbane. Water, the Rip Bridge looks serene by day, but after dark, it becomes a corridor of sorrow. Since its completion in the 1970s, the bridge has been the site of countless tragic deaths, most by suicide, haunting reminders that not every soul crosses willingly. Locals speak of a young woman in a red dress, seen standing on the edge of the railing. Drivers slow down, hearts pounding, only for her to vanish as they pass. Others have reported hearing desperate cries echoing across the bridge late at night, carried on the wind like a warning. Even more disturbing are the sudden electronic failures, car lights dimming, radios going dead, as vehicles approach the center span. There's a heaviness here, a pull. Some say the bridge remembers every fall, every scream, every silent goodbye, and sometimes it calls out to others, tempting them to join the ghosts that linger just beneath the surface. 9. Albury Railway Bridge, Albury, New South Wales. Over the sleepy town of Albury runs the Albury Railway Bridge, a silent witness to tragedy buried in time. During its construction, a worker was fatally crushed under the massive steel beams, and legend says his restless spirit never left. Locals whisper that late at night, when the last train has passed, you can hear the heavy clank of boots and the faint echo of a man's cry carried by the wind. Commuters have reported strange occurrences, lights flickering inexplicably, the air turning icy cold, and fleeting glimpses of a shadowy figure standing on the tracks, staring into the darkness. Some say the ghost still patrols the rails, forever trapped between life and death, searching for peace that will never come. 10. Swanport Bridge, South Australia, crossing the mighty Murray River. The Swanport Bridge seems peaceful by day, but beneath the surface lurks something far older and darker. The land surrounding the bridge is sacred to the local Aboriginal people, believed to be a resting place for ancient spirits. Travelers speak of mysterious glowing lights flickering just beneath the water, and strange whispers carried on the breeze at dusk. Fishermen have seen spectral figures rise from the river mist, their forms shimmering and fading like ghosts caught between worlds. At night, the bridge sometimes hums softly, as if alive with memories from a time long past. Few dare to linger here after dark, fearing they might become the next soul drawn into the river's ancient grasp. Those were the chilling tales from Australia's most haunted bridges, places where the past refuses to stay buried and the restless still roam. If you ever find yourself near one of these bridges after dark, remember, some crossings are better left unfinished. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more stories that'll send shivers down your spine. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.